In early 2018, I happened to drop by an estate sale the following Monday after it had concluded. I asked the owner if it was okay if I rummaged through the shop before the scrappers came through and hauled the remaining items to the scrapyard. He agreed, and I began rummaging through what was left. I came across all the taps and the dies that you saw me do an earlier video on, and I also came across this shear on the floor amongst a few other items that had been passed over. It was seized up, frozen, and rusty throughout, but I was sort of intrigued. I expressed interest in it, and the owner kind of chuckled, probably assuming that it was going to end up in my scrap barrel as well. But I made him an offer of scrap price. He accepted, and I loaded it up. Once the shear had made its way home, it found a spot in the corner of my shop with a can of PB Blaster nearby. Every time that I walked past it or stepped over it, it got a little rinse down. And that brings us to present day. Now, I spent a fair bit of time online trying to research BARTH. I did come across a few identical shears for sale, but I came across very little information speaking to the history of BARTH. There was one short brochure that stated that BARTH Engineering and Manufacturing Company was founded somewhere around the turn of the 20th century in Milldale, Connecticut, United States. It shows that they specialized in metalworking tools, and it also states that they were a successor to Ellis Manufacturing Company. See, those threads are wet, so that PV blaster that I've been putting in for the last year has definitely worked its way in there. Okay, that released this on the other side. See that rust scale. kind of contemplating what to do for a base for this machine to rest on. There's a little maker's mark there, but unfortunately it's too damaged to see. It's some type of diamond, and I don't know what it says in the middle there. And you can see how bad the pitting was on this piece. Got it somewhat cleaned up over here. I just checked the forecast, and it looks like the next couple of days we've got weather predicted. This is the only good day of weather this week. And so I wanted to get this shear painted. This is some rusty metal primer. And all I'm going to do is just prime the bottom of this base and the bottom of the shear where you'll never see them. Now these lands here are where the actual blade ride in, and I don't want paint on those. I think it's just going to gum up the movement of this machine. They'll get a coating of oil or grease on them, and so I'm going to mask them now. get ready to assemble this thing, but just for a rust preventative measure, I'm going to be using some of this Minwax, paste finishing wax. And I'm going to rub it on all these raw metal areas, and I'm not going to be relying on it as my primary source of lubrication. All that it is just a rust preventative. There's going to be grease in here. Alright, I've got an extreme duty grease there, and I got my never seize. I can't get the cap off. There it goes. Well, those are what the old hardware looked like, and I was able to find new black hardware at my local egg supply. Those are grade 8 blacks, except for 2. I don't want to do too much grease on here. I don't want it to be so messy that it's getting on my parts and that it's migrating out of the machine. Alright, I went and rummaged through the scrap pile, and I've got some 1/4 inch by 4 inch plates, and I've got some 1/8 inch by 1 inch flat bar.
Looks like it's only got about a 4-inch throat.